Today for our problem-solving strategy in Chapter 3, we are focusing on looking for a pattern. So the objective for today's lesson is going to be to solve problems by looking for a pattern. One of the things that we want to think about or consider when we are looking for a pattern or using the looking for a pattern strategy, it is oftentimes useful for solving many kinds of problems. Okay? When we're looking for a pattern, we're generally looking for patterns involving numbers, possibly letters, or geometric figures. Most of the time when we are working with our looking for a pattern strategy, it is a lot easier to find that pattern when we are looking at tables or lists. So many times it often helps us to create tables and lists with the numbers and the information that we were given. So leading up to this, they have given you case number 1 on the top of page 225 in your book. So you should be on the top of 225. We're going to go ahead and take a look at case number 1 and break this down. Case number 1 says, shooting star. Laura wants to make the girls' basketball team and knows that making free throws is a skill that impresses the coach. In practice, she makes about 3 out of every 5 free throws she attempts. In tryouts, she has to shoot the ball 30 times from the free throw line. How many of these can she expect to make? So again, we're looking at the information that they have given us, okay? Go back, kind of underline, make note of what is important here. When I'm looking at this, I see that she's making about 3 out of every 5 free throws that she attempts. And I know that in tryout, she's going to shoot the ball 30 times from the free throw line, okay? So those would be the things that I would pick out as the important information there. If we think about our problem-solving strategy, the first thing that we need to think about is, number 1, we need to understand the problem. As I've mentioned before, if you need to go back and reread the problem 2 or 3 times, please do that. Okay, so we're looking at what are the facts. As I had mentioned earlier, we know she can make 3 out of 5 free throw attempts, and in tryout, she's going to have to shoot the ball 30 times. Step 2 of our problem-solving plan is to come up with an actual plan. Okay, what is our strategy going to be to solve this problem? The book is suggesting to make a table. Obviously, we're working on looking for a pattern, so I think creating that table would be a definite benefit for you. Looking at solving it then, how can we apply this strategy? So the book decided to make a table to extend the pattern. We know the number of free throws here is 3. Shots attempted is 5. So again, she makes 3 out of 5. So looking at our constant rate of change, or our CRC with our table, we're going to increase our free throws by 3 on each time, and we're going to increase our shots attempted by 5 each time. So you can see here, one of the things that you're going to have to do is finish filling in your table. 12 plus 3 would give me 15. 15 plus 3 should give me 18 that you would fill in. 20 plus 5 would be 25, and then 25 plus 5 would be 30. So if Laura attempts 30 shots, how many should she make? Again, if I'm looking at 30 shots, which would be right here, okay, how many is she going to make? We added 3 for 15 and then another 3 here. So she should make 18 shots. The fourth part of the problem-solving strategy is to go back and check. Does your answer make sense? Okay, does it make sense that she should be making 18 free throws? So we know that she makes her free throws a little bit more than half the time, and we know that because 3 is more than half of 5. So 18 is a little bit more than 15. Again, 15 would be half of 30, and 18 is a little bit more than that, so our answer is reasonable and does make sense. Okay. One of the things to think about, how would your results have changed if she could make 4 out of 5? So if we're thinking 4 out of 5, one of the things that we may do is go back up to our table. Up here, this would increase by 4s. Down here would increase by 5s. So then again, if we were thinking about 30 attempts or 30 shots, we would be able to figure out what that would be. Okay, let's go ahead and move on and take a look at page 226, where they are giving us case number 2 at the top. It says, Tomas looks through a window and sees the top 3 rows of a 7-row display of digital cameras. He sees 4, 6, and 8 cameras in these 3 rows. Again, how many cameras are there in the whole display? So we're looking at our question. We're looking at how many cameras are going to be in the whole display. We see the top 3 rows of a 7-row display. He sees 4, 6, and 8 in those 3 rows. Do I understand, okay, what the problem is? Do I understand what am I being asked to find? Again, we know that we need to find how many cameras there are in the whole display. So that's what I'm understanding. Underlining keywords and values, what information do we need to know or do we know? So we can fill this in. The display contains, and we know that it contains 7 rows of digital cameras. The problem states that the top 3 rows have 4, 6, and 8 cameras. Again, we're getting that from our problem, case number 2. Is there any information that you do not need to know? Be thinking about what you do not need to know. Okay, information that we probably do not need to know is the fact that the objects that are stacked are digital cameras. Okay, we just need to know how many rows there are. Choosing the problem-solving strategy, we're working on looking for a pattern, so that's going to be our focus today. Solving, describing the pattern in the table, and then we're going to extend it using our problem-solving strategy. So when we take a look at our patterns, okay, when I take a look at our rows, we've got 7, 6, 5. So obviously we would continue this 4, 3, 2, 1. Number of cameras, here I have 4, here I have 6, here I have 8. One of the things that you can notice here, again, finding a constant rate of change, these numbers are each decreasing by 1. These are going up by 2. So based off of that, then you would be able to fill in the table. Then we're looking at the total number of cameras is, and in your book you should be able to fill that in. So therefore, when we're going back to look at the whole question, the total number of cameras in the display, as you work this out and fill out your table, should be 70. Again, we're looking at total, so we would have to go back and add those up. One of the next things that you guys are going to be doing as we get ready for your quiz that's going to be coming up is starting on page 227. Okay, they are giving you some more cases. Case number 3 is dealing with nature. Case number 4, financial literacy. Case number 5, geometry. And case number 6 is diving. Also, remember on case number 6, you're going to be circling your strategy that you're using. Remember on case 3, 4, and 5, those are going to be focusing on the look for a pattern strategy. Then, next, you're going to be working on your mid-chapter check, which starts on page 228. This is going to be going back and reviewing the lessons up to this. As you can see, you have 10 questions on that page.